Hello, I am Kaiju Crazy and today I'll be reviewing the Lingjihun leatherback. Let's go. So this figure has recently just released and I thought that because there wasn't too many reviews out there, I might as well make it my first. And I thought this thing was absolutely amazing. So here's the box, fitting in theme with all their other releases, with a nice logos and finishes, as well as a cinematic shot of the figure. And then around the back, showing some poses and what you get. And then putting that to the side for now. The figure itself is absolutely massive. And for £80, so like $90, you get quite a lot with it. Very heavy and massive, which I'll do some size comparisons later on. And then you get not like the biggest variety, but you get a few accessories. You get fists, which are painted amazingly. They're amazing. You get open hands. Yeah, something like that. They look amazing too, as well as my favourite, which are like these open gripping hands. These are amazing as well. It's all so amazing. So for articulation wise, camera. There we go. Articulation wise, it is surprisingly posable for its size, as well as its heft. So you get a ball joint at the shoulder, you get a hinge at the elbow, providing like 80 degrees, 70, not quite straight as much as it goes, but then goes pretty bent, so quite nice. You then get, I'm presuming, a ball joint at the wrist, and then you get a secondary ball joint, dumbbell joint I think actually, at the wrist again, the knuckle. And this allows for some really good posing to do with its size and how it walks on its knuckles. So then coming down to the waist, it has a ab crunch. Let me focusing on this. There we go. Which provides a large range of movement for the size. Doesn't look too much, but it does affect end results of poses. Then to the head, so try and get it down here. So then the head has a ball joint or dumbbell joint at the base of the neck, and then a joint at the jaw. But this is a very unique figure in how they've made it, because it isn't like a multi-segment, it is just a very nice like cover, which allows for a near seamless posability, which is really nice aesthetically to this figure. Then making our way down to the legs, another ball joint, double jointed knees, which is very nice, provides even more posability. Dumbbell joint at the base of the calf ankle, and then another ball joint at the ankle itself. This provides some really nice poses, as well as just helps with overall standing. I mean, the arms do most of the heavy lifting with this figure, and it looks just so seamless. Not too many gaps, pretty nice. So now we'll move on to the paint and sculpting. So now, moving on to the sculpt, it has a well-detailed face, which has an opening jaw as previously mentioned, with quite metallic-y looking teeth, shiny. That's really nice. As well as the eyes being painted really well. One here, here, and here, which I didn't even realise there was an eye on there, but right there. But yeah, his crest, full of detail. I mean, not too much you can do with that, but they're done well. Then moving on, see, like his hair in a way, that's painted really nicely. Stands out, not too crazy, but they've made it look really just natural. Middle one seems to be together at the end, but that is no issue. The body is overall, it's quite a aqua-y blue, which I'm pretty sure maybe that might be a little bit lighter than his actual on-screen like colours, but either way it is really nice. He has bone details across his spikes and joints, well, not joints, but it's like additional sharp areas, along with his patterning, his almost like tattoos. That looks amazing, and I've heard they do glow in UV, which is something I will have to try, as well as just a really nice overall detail. Not too painful out the box to even like mess around with, like no heating of the joints, no paint scuffages, and again, this is such a big figure. The hands don't go on too hard. I'm not going to show each hand, but I'll just show them separately now. Here's the fisted hands with really nice detail, with like a purpley dry brushing across the spikes, and then same for the normal open hands. Yeah, these are really nice. These are what's on default from Open It Up, and yeah, these are just really nice. So then move on to my final thoughts, which is that this figure is amazing. For the price, you can't go wrong. For the sheer scale of this thing, like, I'm going to do a size comparison at the very end, but yeah, this thing's huge. Yeah, I could just mess with it all day. And then I'm going to do some figure photography, like a picture for the end of the video, which I think will sort of show its capabilities and its just what it can do, really. And I'll show some poses in a second. But yeah, my final thoughts is the price is a 9 out of 10. It's amazing for how much you pay and for what you get. And although you only really get hands, for how big this thing is and for realistically all he did in the film, there probably wasn't much else they could have done. The only thing I could say is it would have been cool if we got another set of hands which had like articulated fingers, because this is such a big figure that I think it could have been done and done well. But either way, I am happy with what it's got with it. The size, again, it's big, it's in scale with the Gypsy Danger figure they released. I'm going to show that in the size comparison. But yeah, that goes so nicely with it. I don't have the NECA figure because I missed out on that quite a while back, and I never managed to pick it up because I was still sort of getting into figure collecting back then. But yeah, amazing figure. I couldn't recommend it more if you're a fan of action figures just in general, Pacific Rim, or even just kaiju figures. It's good value, good price, yeah, and it weighs a bunch. It feels like the weight you pay. So it's not like some brands where you seem to just like drop a large chunk of money on it, and then though it does look good, it's just weighs nothing. But this does have weight to it, and its quality is next level. So yeah, that is my first review and final thoughts on this figure. Expect more reviews, because recently I've gotten the 70th anniversary Burning Godzilla, the Kaiju number 9 figure, which I know is kind of old, but I would love to speak about that one because it is really unique. And yeah, the sort of stuff to expect from this channel would be stuff like SH Monster Art. It's got that new destroyer on the way. The prehistoric beasts, I think it is, or beasts of the Mesozoic, that's it. I do collect some of those, maybe not as often as other, but definitely expect the occasional one. Recently got the Pistachosaurus for my birthday or Christmas. And then also Higher Toys. I also would love to review some of their stuff, and I do own some of their stuff. But yeah, there isn't really much else that I do cover the occasional SH figure arts, but don't expect them often because I only really get the ones I'm really into. And yeah, I'll put some size comparisons on, like a bit of a brief one in a second, and then yeah, goodbye. Okay, now I'm just going to quickly cover some size comparisons. I've put him in sort of like a neutral pose, close to something you probably do yourself, maybe if you put him on your shelf. So compared to the SH Monster Arts poster 2019, which is basically all the SH Monster Arts Monsterverse Godzillas, and he is dwarfed by this figure. And for those people who do like to make their figures size accentuated a little bit, you can make him stand like this big. Like you can get him huge. And yeah, this is an awesome figure as well. There's the Higher Toys Shimo, which is something I'd also like to review. Again, like this figure's big, and even this is dwarfed by the Lingjihun. In terms of price wise, they're both kind of similar. Not too much more than that. I mean, I reckon if Higher Toys made something this big, it would be more than this actually. But yeah, as well, this is an awesome figure, so I will review this. And then next to something which you might put it with, which is the Lingjihun Gypsy Danger, which is one of my top 5 figures. A lot nicer, like compared to scale wise. But yeah, just so cool it is. And I can't recommend it more. Yeah, and this is end of the video, so I'll try and do more reviews soon. Like I said, what I did before, what I'm planning on doing. And yeah, hope you enjoy the photos I take of it, and goodbye.